Accountant business. Today we're going to study about equal opportunities and diversities. This chapter is another important one for section A. Usually we have straightforward questions on it, but sometimes the examiner asks in MTQs in section B for 4 marks question. Anyway, we're going to cover equal opportunities and diversity. We shall be considering the differences between these two terms, and then your responsibilities as a manager through exploring how prejudice and stereotyping can lead to discrimination. When we'll study about these terms, we will get to know how do we discriminate in an organization, what leads to discrimination, and what are the reasons behind it, and how can we overcome it. Then we're going to study, we will get a know-how that how you treat your colleagues, your staff, your clients, so that you don't end up in discrimination. Now, organizations and businesses are made up of many individuals working together to achieve organizational structure. You remember the first definition that we have studied about an organization. We pull into different people, we pull into individuals, so that we can work together, we can achieve synergies, we can achieve organizational goals. And then what really happens is that we cover each other's weaknesses and go towards a productive approach. We achieve our organizational goals. Okay, so what happens is when we have individuals, every individual brings their own attitudes, their own perception of understanding things and interpreting what is expected from them. And they have their own learning experiences from current organizations, current workplaces, with the ones and experiences from those organizations which they have left. They have their own ethnic, they have their gender and personality differences. So today we're going to study about how do we overcome these differences, and what are the factors that lead towards discrimination. Okay. um Over the past 30 years and so, employment has changed beyond all recognition. Obviously, when technology has overtaken manual procedures, manual processes and systems and functions, so things have to change. We had to change, and a fundamental rethink of how employees should be managed has come into existence. Now, you know what? Managers have had to recognize the need of and develop and enforce company policies aimed at reducing and eliminating discrimination. When discrimination occurs, it is managers' responsibility. Obviously, we as individuals have responsibilities of how we treat colleagues, how we treat the staff and clients, but the managers also have to recognize the need of developing company policies so that they reduce the discrimination. Okay. In addition, the increasing globalization of businesses have meant that managers must be aware of the culture and race issues. Now, I've mentioned in bracket that this is diversity. We're going to study what it is and what leads to different types of problems. Diversity involves valuing all individuals of their differences and variety. Diversity is a proactive approach. It encourages positive relationships. Diversity. Now, examiner usually asks, what is the difference between diversity and equal opportunities? So they are related ideas, but they are distinct from each other. Diversity involves that you diversify your talent pool, you diversify your organization by valuing all individuals for the variety that they pool into your organization, the differences that they're going to bring into your organization. So this is what diversity is all about. Organization embraces people from different genders, races, sexual orientation as an equal opportunity. Diversity goes further and extends to appreciating the differences in employees' attitudes, working habits, personalities, and experiences. Like I've said, that it is a proactive approach, and it encourages positive relationship between the colleagues, between the organization. We'll see what are the benefits of of diversity. Since we are appreciating, we are enhancing our talent pool, so we'll have an idea that since we are providing a variety in our organization, we are going to have an increased competitive advantage. Every person is going to pool into their experiences, their skills, their experiences, skills, knowledge, experience. It's like we're going to achieve synergy with it. So we are going to have increased competitive advantage. We'll have good people, good HR, good potential as compared to our competitors. If we are having the culture of diversity, we are allowing people to come into our organization, then we can increase our competitive advantage. We will have good HR potential. And since every individual has their own every individual has their own skills and knowledge and experiences, they're going to bring into more creativity and innovation is one of the leading attributes that give you a competitive advantage. Every organization is working on innovation. Everyone wants to move faster in the fast moving business environment. So without innovation, without creativity, you cannot do it. A broader range of skills present within the organization that we have discussed, better customer relations and services to the diverse customers. Now you can see that every person coming from a specific culture is going to attract more customers of their own culture. For example, if you're working in an Asian organization, you're American based and you're working in an Asian organization, you're going to attract more people from America. Or if you are working in USA and you are from United Arab Emirates, so you're going to attract more Arabs in that scenario. You'll have customer relationships. Every culture has their own distinct characteristics of attracting customers of their own area, of their own culture. So this is why we diverse our customer uh, relationships. We have the ability to recruit the best talent from the entire labor pool. We have improved working relations and an atmosphere of inclusion. Now, what happens is it is the manager who is responsible for having the good working relations in an organization. Okay. What is equal opportunities? Now we have studied about diversity. We're going to study what equal opportunities are. Equal opportunities is a term which describes the idea that everyone in an organization should have an equal chance to apply and be selected for the posts, to be trained, to be promoted, and to have employment terminated fairly. Now, this is something that we have to understand, that diversity was include the in improvement, the addition of talent pool in an organization. Now, once we have different individuals, now we have a number of individuals coming from diverse backgrounds. Now, equal opportunities is the term which describes that everyone in an organization, irrespective from which diverse background they're coming, whatever from wherever they're coming, they should have equal chance to apply for a selected job, for a post. They should have equal opportunity to be trained, to be promoted, and if their employment is terminated, it should be on fair basis, not on the basis of discrimination or anything. Employers can discriminate only on the basis of ability, experience, or potential. Now, this is the major thing that we have to see, that no one is going to be discriminated on personal basis, only on the basis of ability, experience, or potential. If they're not working well, if they're not working well, if they're not capable of doing the job on which they were hired, if their experience is not relevant enough for performing a task, or if they don't have the potential for their own growth and for the organizational goal, then they can be discriminated. Otherwise, there should be no way to discriminate on personal basis, on backgrounds, on any such thing. All employment decisions are based solely on an individual's ability to do a particular job. Now, to avoid discrimination, we have a policy known as discrimination policy. Many organizations have adopted a discrimination policy that requires gender equality in all areas of employment, including the selection process, opportunities for training, promotion, benefit provisions, facilities, and dismissal. So now we are going to study that what are the categories of sex discrimination. We have direct discrimination, we have indirect discrimination, and we have victimization. This one is important from exam point of view in section B type questions that usually question examiner asks. He gives you a scenario and asks, is it a direct discrimination, or he asks you that was it victimization. So everything is very close enough. When you read the scenario, you feel like it's direct, it's indirect, or it's victimization, but you have to remember the main things that differentiate between the terms, and it makes a lot easier to attempt questions, so you can gain 4 direct marks. Okay, so direct discrimination involves treating a person less favorably than others on sexual basis, on racial or marital grounds. This might include, for example, a dismissal from employment based upon marriage. If you got married, you are directly discriminated that since you're married, you cannot do this job. So this is what happens every time, that if anyone in an organization is directly discriminated, or he is treated less favorably than others on direct basis. There are so many things on racial basis, on color differences, or anything on marital grounds, on anything. So this is just what directly those things are obvious that you're discriminated. Indirect discrimination is that there are terms and conditions applicable for on both sexes, but where one sex has considerably lesser ability to comply with it than the other. For example, and would be that an example would be a condition that a candidate must be of a particular height. Now, what really happens is that there are terms and conditions on which you are indirectly discriminated. For example, apparently the terms and conditions do not look as if it is a discrimination, but in reality, they are discriminating you on the basis of any terms or conditions. So what is it is indirect discrimination describes a term or condition applicable to both sexes, but where one sex has considerably less ability to comply with it than the other. Okay, so what happens is that the terms and conditions are apparently looking fair, but they are not fair enough. So this is an example on where sales girls or salespersons are indirectly discriminated on the basis of height or anything that we all know. So we're going to study about victimization. Victimization is that it means that an employer treating an employee less favorably because they have made or tried to make a complaint about discrimination. Now, this victimization term is related to two things. It is direct discrimination and it is indirect discrimination. And wherever you're going to complain about these types of discrimination, you are being victimized for it. Now, what happens is that there are two types of another discrimination, that is positive discrimination, and we have just positive discrimination. This refers to the practice of giving preference to protected groups such as ethnic minorities, older workers, or women. Now, you know what? Equal opportunities is a reactive process. Diversity is a proactive process. Um, Equal opportunities is covered by the legislation, whereas diversity is a proactive process. It is not covered as such. It is not covered about in the legislation. But you know, now what we have studied is direct discrimination, indirect discrimination, and victimization. They are covered by the legislation. Victimization is just like whenever you complain about discrimination, your employees going to treat you unfavorably, less favorably. Maybe he will give you a tough time. Okay, so now we have a term that is different. This is positive discrimination. Since we know that discrimination is not good, we it's not advisable in any case. But what is positive discrimination? This refers to the practice of giving preference to protected groups such as ethnic minorities, older workers, or women. It's like we know that minorities are not going to have much favors, but we positively discriminate them so that we give them favors. Okay, we we are positively discriminating them so that they don't suffer, they don't face the less favorable things, any terms and conditions. So actually this is also not permitted under most legislations, but the purpose is positive discrimination. So um, when you'll attempt questions, you're going to just going to assess that what kind of discrimination is it. If you're being treated because you had complained something, you are being victimized. If there are any terms or conditions that are apparently looking fair, but they they're actually not fair, so that is indirectly discrimination. If there is a direct discrimination, which is a straight away dismissal. If you're going to get married, you're going to discriminate it. This is a direct discrimination. You're being treated less favorably than others only on the basis of sexual, racial or marital grounds. So this is all about the chapter. We have covered the chapter, and it is important for section A and B type of questions. But in the start, the benefits of diversity, examiner usually asks for a straight away 2 marks question. For the definitions of diversity and equal opportunities, he asked for a 2 marks question, but he usually he usually questions from the sex discrimination policy, which is direct discrimination, indirect discrimination, and victimization. Okay, so if you have any question, please let me know on the WhatsApp or the WhatsApp. You can private message me, or you can ask in the group. I hope you have covered the last topics. Thank you.